What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Scevoli Show, guys. It's me. I know you guys look forward to me every single week. I understand. I would too. You know, I go to work and people are looking for me. I don't know why. I didn't do anything illegal. Or did I? You know, you never know in the world what I do in the world. Scevoli out in the wild. He's just wild. But anyway, let's not talk about me because I could talk about me for hours. But we have a nice special guest here today, guys. His name is not Patrick Starr from SpongeBob. I'm so sorry. I tried to have him on, but this is the best Patrick I could have on. I'm sorry. I like this Patrick more than the Star. I'm sorry. This guy, he's amazing. Poptographyyt, if you find him on Instagram, he just takes awesome pictures of Funko Pops, which I adore and love. And of course, his wisdom in Star Wars. Patrick, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me on.
Did you like that little intro I did for you? You're welcome.
I did. My son was and still is a big SpongeBob fan, so
we support SpongeBob on the show.
There you go.
But before we talk to Patrick, have our Scevoli Tonight Show. I'm sorry, people, that I didn't even say that in the beginning. Patrick, our special guest, Poptographyyt, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, Patrick. Take a bow, Patrick. Take a bow. There you go. That's the attitude on this show, Patrick. That's the attitude. But before we start the Scevoli Tonight Show, please subscribe down below to the YouTube channel, The Scevoli Show, for more awesomeness. And me, not Patrick. It's just me. I'm sorry, Patrick. I had to go there.
It's okay. It's your channel, my friend.
But my first question to you, Patrick, is Poptographyyt. What made you name and take pictures of your Funko Pops? Because a lot of people do it. A lot of people do it with their Hot Toys, their Black Series. So what makes you different than everybody else out there?
Okay, so at one point I was working for a company photographing products, and I didn't want to shoot that size of action figure because that's what I was doing during my day job. And I also really didn't have anything at my desk at the time. So a colleague had one, and I was like, what's that? It's Funko Pop. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And it was one custom done of himself, like way back when, you know, you had to know somebody to get something like that. So I was like, oh, wow. And then I saw the Star Wars Funko Pops, and I think I put it down as like a Christmas or a birthday thing from my parents or something. So I got the first one was the Han on a Tauntaun. So I got hooked after that. That was just awesome. I started with that, then the Rogue One collection, and then from there it just kind of blew up. But so I just kind of started photographing that, and just wanted to. I figured I had these things sitting around, and I always thought, like, you know, one of the things I learned early on was you take what you're passionate about and the things you like, and if you combine them together, and photography and Star Wars was mine. And since I had this collection of Funko Pops, I said, you know what, I should start shooting them. And so hence that. So I did start out about a little almost a year and a half ago, starting as under the name on social media and everything as Toy Photog FR, but it was like Photo GFR. And it was like spelled like a license plate, toy photographer.
Oh, okay.
I don't think a lot of people got it. So I was with my friend Christopher from Seriously Star Wars, which Chris, you know. So I basically was talking to him, and we came up with the idea of rebranding with Poptographyyt. So I've only kind of had this since November, December, where I kind of rebranded and everything. But it's been a constant thing. So a build up to where I am now doing it, because I kind of think when I first started, I was just shooting them randomly, and I really wasn't putting the real effort towards it. And then I kind of started playing around using digital backgrounds, which is nothing more than I plug into a monitor and I pick backgrounds to kind of give it a little more depth, and sometimes I add stuff for the foreground. But once I kind of got that little kind of style down, then I could concentrate on, okay, what is it they want to photograph? What character? So I usually focus on only one Funko Pop in an image, typically no more than two at best. to tell a little. It's like seeing, like, if you're looking through the George Lucas like hardbound book of frames. It's a moment. It's a frame in the Star Wars universe for that character in the Funko Pop form. So.
Oh wow! So now this, I know this is a hard question coming up that I'm going to ask you, but which Funko Pop is your favorite?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. Now,
what was your first? I want to ask you, what was your first ever Funko Pop that you ever collected? The Han
my
one?
my first was the Han on the Tauntaun. That was like the very first one, and it was kind of like on a lark, you know. He got this cool Smuggler's Bounty kind of swag box from Funko, and it was like usually a big pop with a T-shirt, or like you got 2 pops and some other swag. And so that's I started doing that, and so I missed 2, the first one and the very last one, and I was pissed that I missed the last one because it was the Obi-Wan versus Anakin on Mustafar, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh yeah.
So that was the one. That's the one that I still have on my kind of grail list that I want to get. But to answer your question, what is my favorite one? I'm gonna have to say at currently still, I almost toppled her, but it's Ahsoka the White. I love that.
Oh really? I love that one. I love that
one. Love that one. I'll put that over my own custom. I did a custom Vader battle damage like for like a year before Funko came out with theirs. I like that one a lot until then, and then I do like the new Thrawn.
Oh yeah, the Thrawn like this. Yeah.
Yes, I like that one better than him holding the blaster because the face sculpt is much better on the arms crossed one.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know what Funko really did with Thrawn live action because he didn't have a gun.
Never had a blaster at all. Ever. So it could have been something that was cut. It could have been something. I honestly at one point was wondering if they kind of wanted to switch it up, like the pops or whatnot, and he should have had the blaster in the other one because at least he had a blaster in Rebels.
Yeah. So
I don't know. But
yeah.
I got them both, and I did buy a second Thrawn. Was it the Target exclusive?
Yes.
Because it was on sale for $5 and change. Like.
Correct.
The other week, so I picked another one up. I was like, ching.
Yeah, I feel like with the Thrawn, like we want more Rebels pops. You know, we don't have, like I said on my show before, we don't have a Callus pop. We don't have a Keenan from like season 4.
Keenan with the mask, right?
Keenan with the mask. We don't have a Zeb one. You know, another Zeb. Like they came out with another Sabine. They came out with the Ezra that I really wanted. I wanted that one where he was like. For the Force, or
you didn't pick it up?
Yeah, no, I picked it up. Yeah.
Okay, I picked that up. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it was like I think is it called? I don't know what the company was called, but it's like
it's like
Asian Pacific. Company. No, right?
What's that?
It was like Asian Pacific, or no?
I don't even know where it's from. I didn't care where it's from. I just wanted it.
I just wanted to go buy it.
It was like a take my money.
Yeah. I was like, like when I saw someone post it, like, oh, the first look and then pre-order, I was like, no, it's all right.
As soon as I saw it, I was like,
yeah,
take it.
I don't even know where it's coming from. I don't even know when it's available. I don't even know when it comes out, the Ezra Bridger Funko Pop.
I had to have that. That was one I had to have.
Yeah, because I feel like, see, like on my show, I don't know if you, I know you've seen my show and how I do it and stuff like that, and watched it. But I'm a big animation fan. I'm huge. So like Ahsoka animation is my favorite. Live action, I'm not a big fan of. Like Ezra, that's Ezra in live action. You know, whoever Iman played Ezra as he was walking down the street. If that was the real Ezra Bridger who walked down our streets.
Yeah.
But I love live action Ezra. I'll always love. He'll always be like top tier for me. Even Sabine animation, Tia.
It's funny you say that because I think. When Disney first bought out Lucasfilm, right? And that was their first kind of animation, like toe in the water. And I thought right from the get-go with Ezra sitting there kind of looking out and that ship came, to me, that brought me back instantly to when I was 5 years old, seeing A New Hope in the theaters in 77. So I was like, I was like, oh, what a callback. And like, and I felt it and I saw it, the visual and that impact. I was like, wow, that was real. I was like, this show is going to be good right with that. Because they said they're hitting home on the things that sucked us in the first place. So I love that show. And I for a long time thought like Ezra's kind of like Ezra and Ahsoka are some of those characters. I think that I've gotten to really grow to love.
Yeah.
And have a lot of attachment to, and really want to see them be that next generation of Jedi and stuff. So I really want to see all that build. So
yeah, I don't know if we'll get that because Star Wars will be doing it. Star Wars will be doing it where we're like dead and gone, 2028 or 2088 or something like that. Where we're
who
all
knows?
Like Star Wars does things backwards instead of forwards. You know, they go backwards. They show us like, oh, we're gonna show you Luke. Okay, and then where's Leia? Or they'll show you Luke and Grogu and Boba Fett and Ahsoka together, and be like, okay, how do they meet? You know, where's that story?
Yes, give us some more tales. I want to. Can't wait for Tales of the Jedi. You know, second season. That's gonna be awesome.
Oh, that's gonna be so amazing.
That's gonna. I don't know about you, but I've been in agreement with a lot of fans that I'd like to see a Tales of the Sith. Like, show me some dark side stories.
I don't know if they'll do it because a lot of dark side users were Jedi. You know, like they started off as Jedi and then became the Sith. So I think like even with Dooku, like Dooku was a Jedi and then they showed his fall in the Tales of the Jedi, and then how that story brought out when we've seen the Clone Wars. I don't think they'll have Tales of the Sith. We want it. Like I would enjoy it.
The
like
thing they could tell on that would make it easy is they could do when Palpatine takes Maul away as a kid and raises him and trains him. You got plenty of episodes about that kind of stuff, and you could do some other kind of little side stories for other characters as well. Like in that, I don't know.
I would love to see it. No, I would love. I agree with everybody that says it. Like Tales of the Sith and then Tales of the Jedi, and the Tales of the Jedi. I really loved all those episodes. They were awesome. Even seeing like with baby Ahsoka, she has such a big head. I love her forehead. I think that's the best part of the episode is her forehead. But to see her and then her transformation, like Ahsoka Jedi, like she, like even that shot with the tiger, how she just touches his head, like that is such a beautiful scene.
I love that episode. I wanted a pop of some. I end up getting the bounty collectibles. I don't know if you've seen those. Those are really
little
cool.
ones.
They're like they're like 2 inches.
Yeah, no, I've
mostly
seen
Grogu, mostly Grogu centric. But I did get the young baby Ahsoka. Love it.
Oh, the one that I know what you're talking about. The one where she told, show me. I think I know what you're talking about. I'm not too sure.
Flower.
Oh, okay. Yes, I've seen that one. I haven't got it. They came out with more, right? Or just that one?
This is the only one I saw with Ahsoka. But I had to have that. That was dope.
I tried to get it. I can't find it anywhere. I probably have to go like on eBay or Mercari to get it.
But and the thing was they were like on sale. So I right around Christmas time. So I picked up three different ones.
Oh wow!
Because I use them for shots. Like that one, I actually instead of shooting a Funko, I shot just that. Like I concentrated just on that. It was a great. I really loved how the image came out because I now have like kind of like Ahsoka in all of her periods, all of her stages so far. So
until cool. She reaches Ahsoka, which the Ahsoka Funko Pops.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. But the other one I really enjoyed is the Loth Cat. I have one of I have the Grogu with the Loth Cat curling around them, but I have a Loth Cat one, and I use that in one of my images.
The Hot Toys or one of those ones?
It's one of these guys. One of these.
Okay. Oh, okay. I can't find those anywhere. I can't even buy them somewhere.
Whenever we end up at a Walmart, I check because that's where I picked any of mine up. I end up picking up at a Walmart of all places.
Now I gotta try Walmart.
And they seem to kind of have. I don't know if they really move into Walmart. I don't know. I always seem to find them by like the cases.
Oh, okay. Like at the register, right?
No, in the toy aisle, just regular toy aisle.
Okay. I gotta check that next when I go to Walmart.
Yeah, they have them. They're there. They're right near they always have like right next to like a plush area.
Oh, I should try. I'll be like, Patrick sent me, guys. Move out of my way. Beep beep. Patrick sent me. Poptography. They won't know who I'm talking about, but maybe they will. You know, you never
They
know.
might. They might.
They might. They might. You never know.
If they're in the Funko Pops, they could.
But yeah, to see Ahsoka all the way up, like it's just beautiful. I love it. I was gonna say something again, but the Tales of the Jedi, I can't wait for the second season of. And then they just started coming out with Tales of the Jedi busts. The first one got announced is Yaddle, which that's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, but where are the other people we want to see? We want like a Qui-Gon Jinn bust, animation bust, you know? We want like another Ahsoka bust where she's like this, like a Captain Rex Clone Wars bust, like all those stuff too.
I'd like to see a like a scene with Ahsoka versus that was it the seventh brother or whatever that Sith was?
Oh, and Rebels?
Where she basically takes him on with nothing but her bare hands and takes him down. That was just the music, the scene, it was so epic. I was like, I actually recreated a shot like that in Funko form. Dude, that was such a favorite scene of mine. And I know you loved obviously Tano. And I know you like animation, so I know that had a hit for you as well.
Oh yeah, when she was like, and then I was like, just kick their asses already, just do it. Even with it happened in Rebels too, and it happened in the Tales of the Jedi. That's what I was like, okay, he's talking about I think the Rebels, but I know, and now I just remembered animation.
Exactly, it was a callback to the Rebels.
Yeah,
powering down
how she got her lightsabers. She just takes them on, and people like asked that. People were so mad, but I was like, "That is Ahsoka Tano you're talking about."
She's like powerful. Like she might be like, you know, maybe not as powerful as Anakin, but pretty up there. She says, and I think like to prove that point, when we saw Tales of the Jedi, that again, she just kept getting tagged. So I mean, that was awesome. And here, you know, when you saw the end of Clone Wars, it made sense how she
survived it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's beautiful. See, that's poetry right there, people. That is beautifulness. Because
that's
we're
like rhyming.
Because when Clone Wars got canceled in season 6, we didn't know where the series was going. We didn't know who survived. Then we see Ahsoka in Rebels. So we're like, oh, how did Ahsoka survive? And then we get Captain Rex and Gregor and Wolf, which we just saw Wolf in this past Bad Batch episode, which it was amazing. And like, I feel like we're going to see more of Wolf's story, but it's just a great callback because in Rebels, he was so scared. Like, oh, they're going to find me. I had to call the Empire on them, you know, and stuff like that. Like, oh, we're going to get in trouble, you know, for holding the Jedi. And I probably Rex and Wolf had countered Jedi, you know, without their chips, you know, and I think Wolf had that how do you say that? PSD? I don't know how to say that.
PTSD.
PSD, yeah. About that, and that's why Wolf is the way
I think he's going to catch them. I think he's going to catch some flack when he gets back to Hemlock, and they're going to torture him. And I think that's going to cause those guys to like wreak havoc and descend on Mount Tantus. So that's my thought. I think they're going to get him, and I think they're going to mess with him. They're going to mess with him.
Because everybody thought, even I thought he was one of the spies, you know, because Rex always said he had spies in the Empire. So I'm thinking like Wolf with his whole entire Wolf outfit on, you know, his armor. And I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden, Rex, you're alive? Like, you were supposed to be dead in action. Like, what happened? You
and
know?
that goes back to the episode too, because he's like, I lost a lot of good soldiers there.
He did.
That was pretty awesome. That was a great moment, and he let him go. And that the commando, the clone commando, or I was gonna say Republic Commando, but clone commando runs up and he's like, "What are we gonna do about that?" He's like, "Yeah, you know, they're clones after all, you know." So
and I think it goes back to like clones having their own identity. You know, they're their own person. They make the decisions. Like Cody said in season 2, we made like, I forgot his quote, but I love his quote when he says it's a crosshair, and we have to live with them too. You know, we do the consequence and we have to live with it. And look where we at now. Look what the consequences brought us to, you know?
Yeah.
Shooting regular people on the street, hostages, babies, kids, you know? And Rex says, like, you're hunting a child, you know? Like, how does that sound? Like, in your mind, you're hunting a child. Why are we hunting a child?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And I think even Crosshair, you know, because he's kind of like I always thought of him as like the Cobra Commander in in Star Wars. You know what I mean? The way he talks and everything. But I felt that like other clones like Rex and those guys noticed that he had changed, you know, for the better. And I think that we kind of are going to see that soft side, and then they're going to rip him away from us.
Yeah, because we see how, like, I'll talk about this later with Star Wars Rick, because we're doing our breakdown today about the Bad Batch episode 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So go check that out, guys, when it is out. But with Crosshair's dynamic with Omega, like, it's so different, you know, like, it's like he took a 180, you know, of where he was in season 1 and 2, and now look at him, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like with Crosshair, like, in the beginning, I liked him because he was like a sharpshooter, like he hit anything, you know. And now he's missing, you know. His hand is shaking, you know. He's scared now, like, oh my god, like, we have to run, we have to get out of here, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we didn't get that Crosshair. We got the Crosshair that's untouchable. That's no one's gonna hurt me. And now look where he's at. And Crosshair now is like my favorite, my favorite Bad Batcher. Like,
he's always been one of my faves.
I love Crosshair now.
I love his story. I love his story.
Yes.
You know, and I thought that was cool too. He was like, you know, I looked at it as loyalty meant something. It meant something to me, and I thought it meant something to all you guys. And obviously it does, but it doesn't mean anything to the Empire. Yeah. At the end of the day, like, you know, they're gonna use us like cattle and pull us in, do experiments, do whatever they want, because we're their property. You know, we're not individuals like we've become. And, you know, I wonder, we really don't see clones much in the future. We did get that clone trooper begging for money in the Kenobi series.
Yes, we did.
Right? So do we get, see, I'm hoping, I know it's a lot of speculation, but I am hoping we get another animated series after this, and it's something about the Clone Rebellion, maybe, or what happened, because I don't think from now to the end of this season of Bad Batch, we're going to resolve what the hell happened to all the clones. I don't think that, you know, I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of sensor in the chip that they can just fry them all where they're standing.
Blow their heads off.
Yeah. Or to use something like Sabine Wren did to the Mandalorians, and just their armor falls to the ground.
Do you think, now that's a good scenario, but do you think we'll see that weapon? Or Sabine is too young at this point still?
I don't know, but I wonder if we see it in maybe the Mandalorian movie or something like that. Maybe someone, I could see Thrawn, or I could see a callback to it possibly as a weapon they could easily use against the Mandalorians.
Yeah, because it goes on their armor. So
right. So I don't know, but I hope not. You know what I mean? I kind of I hope not, but because I think that was cool, but that was pretty brutal what it did. And, you know, I like the Mandalorians. So I really don't want to, and they're just getting back to their planet, but I mean, it could be a weapon they could pop up to use against them. Who knows?
Yeah, like, I was thinking about that when you said that. I was like, maybe her weapon. But I was like, I don't think they would kill all the clones like that. But, like, with Cody's still out there. You know, what happened with Cody all this time? Where did he go?
Yeah, I think people are leaning to that special ops trooper, you know, that he is either Cody or Tech. I don't know. I really don't want them to try to bring back Tech alive, because I think just leave him go. Like, he died. It was a good death. Like, you know, the way he went, saving the rest of the team, the squad, I think that was important. So, like, don't minimize that sacrifice to just bring him back. But if it was Cody, that'd be cool. And maybe they turn him possibly. You know, one of my theories was Cody, they somehow free Cody, remove his chip, yada, yada, yada. And then as the batch is getting taken out, he makes a pledge to take Omega and they go somewhere. Maybe they go to another galaxy.
Okay.
I don't know.
That would make sense with Cody, but I think with Cody, I feel like you know what we really need in life? We need a Cody and Obi-Wan reunion.
Yeah, I mean, you could tie in where say Cody or any of the Bad Batch, right? Let's say one of the Bad Batch survives, any one of them survives, the rest get taken out, and they leave with Omega because I don't think they're gonna kill Omega, but they leave with her, and maybe you see a cameo or some reference to them in like Skeleton Crew or something in the other galaxy where those kids are going to be from.
Okay, because we haven't heard anything on Skeleton Crew at all.
No,
we don't even know what that probably should. I think it's a kid and a Jedi. That's
yeah.
it.
I think Jude Law is some kind of Jedi, and it's a bunch of kids. I don't know if any are Force wielders or not, but I think there probably is. And it's like Lost in Space, but Star Wars. And they're kind of going for that Stranger Things kind of audience, which I'm on board for all that. So bring it. Yeah. Let's see it.
So what show or movie, you could say show and movie, you could do both, are you most excited for in the future?
Ooh. Show or movie. I don't know. There's all right because there's so like I would say if it's within the next year or so, I'm kind of excited to see The Acolyte.
Oh, The Acolyte's supposed to be this year, probably full time.
I think that's going to be pretty cool. I think I actually enjoyed Andor, and I know a lot of people didn't, but I think more people are going to like Acolyte than Andor.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think
just from the snippet I've seen, it was pretty cool. Like I was pretty blown away from like the 2 minutes I saw. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Because the trailer came out in Celebration, but it didn't get premiered anywhere else. So Star Wars Sith Tony was telling me that with the lightsabers and everything, and I'm like, wow, like I can't wait because the Jedi are gonna fight the Sith probably in that movie, in that show, excuse me. And they're already working like reports. I don't know if you saw reports for season 2 are already in development. Like
really
talks already. So it must be really good. The Acolyte.
From what again, the images I saw looked awesome. I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. But again, I come from the generation, and I know a lot of Star Wars fans are divided, at current times or whatnot. But I come from the early generation where we had 3 movies for 30 some years, and that's all you had. So when you get any Star Wars, there's some good and there's some bad, but it's new Star Wars, and I think that's what people forget and should get excited about, because I think any of these new projects, I'm sure I'm going to be excited about, like Ahsoka season 2. Bring it. I want to see that sooner than later. Mando, whether it's season 4 and then a movie or just go straight to the box office, bring it. If there is going to be a new Rey movie, I'm on. Rogue Squadron. Let's get the director from Wonder Woman back. Let's go. Like let's stop screwing around. The way I look at it is you have a great IP, right? Disney, you have a great brand, and you have experiences that you could build upon that. Build upon it. And what is your best audience is families like myself that like Disney and Star Wars and Marvel and all that stuff. Because you have those Star Wars lands and stuff like that. And there's nothing more exciting than taking your kids to do those things. And now they kind of get it a little bit more. It wasn't just like when I took my kids on Star Tours, they thought that was cool. But when we went for my 50th, we did the Millennium Falcon, and like it was a whole new ball game. They're like, that was awesome. We were right back on it again. Like, and I was like, all right, see, that was cool, right? Like, that was great. And we had a blast. We absolutely had a blast. And then my brother-in-law and I stayed for an extra few days, and we did the Starship Cruiser. So that was the Halcyon experience. So that was really cool. So we had a full-on awesome time, and I think because Star Wars and Disney has those things that you can add on to and build with. They need to kind of have something kind of where it focuses, bringing that aspect back into people's, ability to enjoy Star Wars, whether it's going to the theme park or seeing a character. Because as a kid, you're impressionable, right? You're a young kid. Like some kids grew up with like myself, grew up with the original trilogy. You have the kids that grew up with the prequels, and now you have kids growing up with the sequel trilogy. So you're always getting a new generation, and like the Young Jedi Adventures is definitely,
I love that.
right? It's so geared for young kids, but it's fun. The animation's pretty cool. It's geared for that. I actually picked up 2 of the figures. I got Kai and Tobar to photograph because the figures look like someone literally plucked them off the television screen.
Oh,
They're
really? I want Nubs.
Awesome.
Nubs Nation.
They are awesome. So I was really impressed with that. So, but that's what Star Wars is to a lot of people. And I think when you have this IP, you should be hitting home runs every time. Like, I'd rather them take longer time to release something that's totally freaking awesome than give me mediocrity. Like, I don't want that, because now it's gonna like, oh, it's another Star Wars show, and that's when you feel like you're just cranking out, kind of like doing the grind, like you and I do on our channels. Like after, there's time you have to take a break, or maybe stack up a day where you do a day of shooting and editing. So you have days that you're away from it, so you're not burned out. And I think if you just keep churning out stuff without taking the break, without refreshing your ideas, and coming up with some new thoughts, you're just recycling the same garbage.
Yeah, you'll just be out of ideas.
You're filling a prescription, right? Okay, we have contracts, we got this. All right, I'm just turning this out to get it off my plate so I can get to the next thing. Right? We got this big movie, but we're just gonna get this show out and just it is what it is. Don't do that. Like, and I don't think they necessarily always are aiming to do that, but I think sometimes it happens.
Yeah, I feel like that's why, I don't know if you'll agree with me, but I think that's why the sequels, no one really liked the sequels, because it was just thrown in at us like, oh, who is these people? Who are they? And then they led up to something big, and it was like, it was never meant for that. You know what I mean? Like, there was no, like, what? Like,
I don't understand how the Force Awakens is okay. And I'll even go in on the, I can't believe we're doing a Death Star like thing again, to blow up. All right, but everything else was fine. I loved the introduction of the cameos, the characters. Well done. It was a great, jump back into Star Wars. I think everyone is excited. Everyone is excited. Then you came out with The Last Jedi, and I take that movie in pieces. Like, I like this scene. I love this scene. I love this scene. Because you can't hate the movie and tell me, if you watch Andy Serkis, and Rey and the interaction, and you can't tell me that's not phenomenal. Like, that was really good. But there's other parts that just fall apart. Like, I don't remember. I don't know if it's the Sam Raimi Spider-Man where they had I can't remember the actor's name, where he comes in and he plays Venom, and they introduce him and they kill him off in the same movie.
Oh, so okay, I know what you're talking about.
You can't bring Luke Skywalker, the biggest character of all legacy, bring him in finally after teasing in the first one. All right, you got me, and I'm okay with that if we're gonna get Luke. But we got a curmudgeon, and you kill him off, and that was not like, when I think the 2 times I've wept watching Star Wars is when I saw them when Order 66 happened, and the guys faded back on the bikes and started shooting at the Jedi. Yeah. I think that's the part when I finally lost it. Like, Plo Koon, I was like, what is going? Oh my god! So, and then when Luke Skywalker appeared in season 2 of Mandalorian, dude, like, that was insane, because that was the Luke Skywalker I wanted to see for a long time, like on screen. Like, I wanted to see that Luke. So that was really, really cool that they did that, and I loved in Book of Boba, we got more of them. I feel that was neat and needed to tell a story, but I also think that they were testing the waters for hopefully something we could get bigger in the future. That's my hope.
Yeah, because Book of Boba Fett was not the Book of Boba Fett at all.
No, they turned him into a Buddhist monk, and I like Boba Fett, and I get it. The characters change, and he's a cool character to have in your theme park and walk around. And kids, I love all that, but just make him a little more badass. Like when they first introduced Boba Fett in The Mandalorian, when he comes back for his armor. Show me that Boba time and time again. Not take my helmet off and smile and talk to people. Bag that. No one cares about that. No one cares.
We just want him to beat some ass. That's what we want.
Right? Because if that's all they're going to give, well, let's put him back in the Sarlacc pit. Because I thought that was a bad way to kill off such a cool character. Like in the Return of the Jedi, he gets hit and goes in this. I always thought that was annoying. But he comes out. He's awesome, and then we get this kind of Boba Fett. Like, they'll put him back in the Sarlacc pit if he's gonna be like that. Like,
leave him with the acid. Leave him with the acid and the guy in the Sarlacc stomach.
Yeah, I mean, he was even more badass in the Mando episodes when he was like arguing with Bo-Katan and
oh yeah,
what's her face? The other one,
Casca Reeves.
Yes, Casca. They were getting into it, so I was like, I wanted to see more of that, and I think he toned it down. I don't know, whatever.
No, I don't know what happened.
we either need to have another season and let him kind of be bad. Now that he's the daimyo, let him like be the badass, be the gangster. Let's see him be ruthless. He's got a rancor now. Like bring it. Like, let's do it.
But Star Wars won't bring it.
Right? I honestly wish I worked at Lucasfilm and could I got an idea, guys. Let's do this. All right. Well, this little group of guys here on our spare time, we're gonna start, workshopping this idea and see what happens.
I feel like Star Wars does hear us. They have to be like, I've said this on my show before. They have to be on Twitter, Instagram, like all the big platforms.
Yeah.
And YouTube, and see our reactions and see this. They have to hear what the fans want. You know what I mean? Like, the fans wanted that Boba Fett. They didn't want a Mando season 3. They didn't want or part B to season 3. They didn't want that. They wanted the Book of Boba Fett, him being an awesome mercenary, like just kicking ass through the whole series. Fennec Shand did more than Boba Fett in the whole series.
Yeah, I just want Boba to be badass again. He was awesome before, and we didn't get much of him. So let's go with that. Like, keep him a mystery man, but you have a show, so you can't do that. He's the front runner. So make him just like ruthless.
And if he's going to be in the Mandalorian movie, which we don't know if he will be, but you have to lead up to that also. Like, what are these, like, back to what I was saying about the movies, what are we doing with those Mandalorian Grogu movies? If you're having a trilogy, what is the movie's going to be about? Because we left off in his cottage, him.
And he was going to be recruited to help out with any kind of, I guess, building of the First Order or whatnot.
Now, do you think, I don't think there will be a season 4. Even Brandon Wayne, who puts the suit on for Mando, has said he doesn't think a season 4 will happen. He thinks the movie will just start in June, which it will start in June. It will start filming in June. So what do you think is going to happen? What do you think that those plans are for that movie?
It's a good one, because I think now you've got the Mando in between all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Between Return of the Jedi and now getting to the sequels. So it's got to have something leading up to it. Like, I think Moff Gideon and the cloning, that was kind of hinting towards some of that. I think we're, even here, what we're seeing on Bad Batch, Necromancer, and all that. I think all that's leading us it's leaving the breadcrumbs to get us there. But I think Mando will be, I don't know if it'll be like an A-team, like kind of they're going to make him like the A-team where, hold on, let me get the band back together. And they get his little recruits for different missions. And that could work. It's a good recipe right? But I think they need to make the stakes higher, and I hope to God we age Grogu up a little bit.
I hope Grogu becomes badass. That's what I want. Grogu was one of my favorite characters because he was like he's a mini Yoda. We could definitely
Baby Yoda.
Yeah, what they did with him was like, what are you doing with this character? You know, are you just having him be like a little baby all his life? You know, he has to push force people, like start using the lightsaber. You know, his armor. You know, he doesn't do any of that. Like I thought at the end of season 3 when they fought Moff Gideon and the Royal Guards go after little Grogu's laughing like, they're not gonna catch me. You know? And then I'm expecting him to be like jump back with the Force, grab the pole and swing it at him or something like that. You know,
I was hoping. Yeah, it was that. It's funny you mentioned that because the laughing kind of annoyed me because I get he's trying to be childlike, you know, because that's his little thing. Like, I'm cute, but like, no, you're in the thick of it, little man. Like,
you're gonna die.
Put your big boy pants on. You forced.
Like you're gonna die.
Skywalker taught you.
And I feel like even with that, like Luke really didn't train Grogu for that long. You know, and Jon Favreau tried to say, "Oh, he got trained for about
a year or two." It didn't seem
there's no way because Grogu should be jumping off walls, holding his own lightsaber, flying, like using the Force to force push things. Like he should be using all that by now in 2 years. The greatest Jedi that we all say is the greatest Jedi of all time. To me, it's Anakin, but to some people, it's Luke. That you're gonna tell me Luke trained this poor baby for 2 years or a year, and we got that.
Yeah. Well, I also did you not get bothered that, you know, Luke knowing the kids, he's like a child, right? And knowing Yoda and how powerful and awesome, do you think he really should have made him choose Jedi or Mando? No. Like, I'm thinking, like, dude, you were going after your father. You had daddy issues, and your father's Darth Vader, right? His adoptive dad is Din Djarin, and he's pretty damn badass, but he's cool. He's a good guy. Like, as long as you're not on a bounty of his, he's a pretty good guy.
Yeah.
But I think like that was kind of cool. And I just don't know why make him choose. Just let him go and say, you know, this will wait here for you when you complete whatever you got to do. Because I think he'll end up being like the next Tar Vizsla. Like he is going to be the Mando at the end of it all. Yeah, he's going to be the Mandalore.
Because I really think that's what they're leading up to. If that's where they're going with it, but it would make sense. That would be if we're watching the movie and we're sitting there, and just like with Finn, we're going to compare it to Finn because Finn had a lightsaber. He was ready to become a Jedi. Yeah, you know, he might not be. We don't know if he was Force sensitive or whatever he was. Leading up to that, and then leading Grogu up to that, and then not like competing with that, that's a waste of character. Just like, no offense, but Sabine to become a Jedi. Like, it wasn't brought to our attention that Sabine is a Jedi.
I didn't think it was necessary either.
No, I don't think for Ahsoka's story, and this is what my problem also with Star Wars is, that they always have that. They have Omega with Hunter, Mando with Grogu, like Ahsoka and Anakin, of course. And of course, Ahsoka was... I don't want Ahsoka to have a Padawan.
Why couldn't Ahsoka not have one and then maybe take Ezra under her wing?
Yeah,
right?
Or because
so that Ezra could better train Jason's Syndulla. Yes. Right? Yes. So come on, little JJ's gonna be swinging a lightsaber soon.
Yeah, he'll probably be swinging it next season or the season if they have a season 3. You know, something. But with Sabine, it wasn't brought to our attention that she was Force sensitive. We understand
in Rebels was Kanan with her, training her with the Darksaber. Like he didn't pick up on that, but he picked up on Ezra.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, where's that story? You know, and then I don't know if you saw like the cover of one of the comics. It had Rebels Ahsoka, and then Sabine with the Darksaber and everything. And I'm like, okay, maybe they'll tell that in Tales of the Jedi, probably. You know, have that story because we don't understand why she's Force sensitive or anything like that, and have that in the Tales of the Jedi season 2, a callback. But it just didn't make sense to be like, oh, how does Ahsoka training Sabine? Like
You
that.
maybe they will go back in Tales of the Jedi and do a little story on that. It might. That's a bad idea.
It would make sense, you know. And
That would
then
make sense. It would.
And then that's why Sabine doesn't really get along with Ahsoka, or Ahsoka doesn't really get along with Sabine at that time, you know. But to bring Sabine in Ahsoka and become a Jedi, it didn't make any sense. Like I didn't feel that. Like it didn't. And Sabine is my favorite Mandalorian. I love Sabine, but that right there, she doesn't need to become a Jedi. She could just stay a Mandalorian badass because she was badass as a Mando. With a lightsaber, she's ass.
See, I was getting nervous of the buildup that they were giving Sabine. Like, not only is she a badass, but she could be so powerful, but because of her, you know, negativity and her want for revenge, I didn't want to train her because she'd be too dangerous. Like, okay, like what can she do? Can she rip, starships out of the sky and bring them crashing? Like, is she like, just, Force Unleashed? Yeah. Like, what is she? Like if Vader? Like, because I almost wondered, are they teasing her to then fall to the dark side and get corrupted? Like that's what I was wondering, because when she gave the thing to Balin and didn't just blast the map, I was like, come on.
I would have blasted it.
Yeah.
I personally would have blasted it. But yeah, I think that's my problem with Star Wars, that they have that. You know what I mean? They have that Padawan or kid with them. Like even Obi-Wan with Leia. Like we didn't have to see that. Like we want to see Obi-Wan on Tatooine protecting Luke from the Tusken Raiders. Stuff like that. Maybe him finish his training with Qui-Gon. Him and maybe Cody showed up there.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. No season 2. Like I thought it was a moneymaker. Easy moneymaker if done right.
Yeah, but I don't think it was done right. I think the best episode was the last episode where Obi-Wan fights Darth Vader and knows that's Anakin under the mask.
That was insane. That was insane.
Yeah, that was like the best scene in that whole, the chills, the everything.
I did like when they first introduced Vader in that town and he's just ripping people out of the windows, chokehold him, just like someone screams like, "Great snap neck!" Keeps walking.
Like, "You're ugly." I just don't like how you
brutal.
Yeah, I just don't like how you said hi to me. Like he's just like.
I felt the excitement when in the darkness, just like they did on set. I'm sure, because I was like, "Oh, dude, it's fate!" Like you just felt that on boom. You could see the belt, the glowing on the belt. I was like, "Dude, we are on." And he just walked down the street, just tearing, like you said, snapping necks, cashing large checks. Man, he's dragging bodies down the road.
Because he knew Obi-Wan was there. He knew he was there. So like Obi-Wan's gonna, Obi-Wan's gonna come out with, he's a Jedi. He needs to help people. You know, that's the urge that the Jedi have. They need to help people. That's what the
Inquisitor said. That's their weakness, right?
Yep.
That they're Jedi in the first place.
And I like the Inquisitor and Obi-Wan. He wasn't my favorite. I really feel like Jason Isaac should have been the Grand Inquisitor.
100%. 100%.
Who played in Rebels. I personally, at least if you couldn't get him to do it, let him do the voice.
Dude, even his cheekbone structure would have been better than what they did with this guy. Just put because they had the Utapau guy, right? In the prequels. So you can do something like that digitally or whatever you gotta do. Make Jason Isaac look like that. That would have been so much better than what we got. But whatever.
Yeah, and I really feel like that Grand Inquisitor just put like a ball cap on. They colored him, and that was it. And then they killed him. And then he had 2 stomachs. Surprise! I have 2 stomachs. But I'm like, why would you even kill him? Wouldn't like?
Yeah, I don't know.
That made no sense either. And I'm like, didn't Keenan kill him already? Like,
yeah. What bothers me is we've got someone running around the galaxy knowing who Darth Vader is and about Luke Skywalker, yet no one else does. And that's supposed to think that breaks can't, like, someone needs to kill her. Someone needs to take her down.
Yeah, Reva, yeah. And then she knows, and like no one's supposed to know about Luke at all.
Well, how many times you get gutted by a lightsaber and survive? Qui-Gon, one stab from Maul, and he's gone. But everybody else survives. Sabine, Reva, come on.
I know, and
That's
it's like
and
it's like in the same spot that everybody else got stabbed in too.
It's horseshit. I don't get it.
Like, I understand if you got your head chopped off or stabbed in the head, you're definitely dead. You're not. If you come back from that, I'm probably not even watching the show after that.
Right.
Like that is top notch. Just like in like Bad Batch, that TK guy, what we were talking about earlier, or CK. I think they came out with his name, but they didn't come out with his like name. They just came out with his code name. Like, he fell from a 10-story waterfall. Your body, if me and you, Patrick, fell,
it's like hitting a brick wall. Bam! You broke so many bones. We
would be dead. We could not breathe. Like, we would probably lose breathing as we were falling off the thing.
It's probably one of the Bad Batch. I don't know.
I
don't know.
Like, probably it's Tech, because he knows how to survive those.
Well, they made that the one thing that made me almost kind of totally sway to the Tech, not Cody, was the fact that they said that they wipe out their identities.
Yes.
So I was like, he might not even know he's Tech. If it is Tech.
Yes. But how do they wipe their memories, though? They do have a chip, or they just do like the mind thing? But then that's going to be hard for the Bad Batch to get, if it is Tech, back on our team.
Yeah, that could be an even sadder loss, because he might just be so reprogrammed.
Yeah,
right. He'll doom them all. Right?
Tech is one of my favorites. I like all the Bad Batch. I love them all, and I hope they all survive and live peacefully on a nice planet. With
I hear you,
Captain Rex. Maybe him helping out. Or they have to go their separate ways, But that's the biggest story that I want. I want, like what you said earlier, like a clone show.
It would be, it would be awesome. It would be awesome.
Or,
and it could be like kind of like almost like a French Revolution kind of thing, like where they fight. It doesn't last long. It's not like Clone Wars. It's like one or two uprisings and then squashed.
Yeah, because I think the big thing is Tantus. They want Tantus is their like goal, and they want to go there, but they don't know where they're going to get that information from. They're
going to get it from someone.
They're definitely going to get it from someone, and I don't know who it is. Maybe Azad's Ventress. That's how she comes into all this.
Yeah, I think we got to see the bounty hunter soon, because
we've
seen pretty much all those scenes in the trailer except for like the alligatory thing going on with Wrecker and the bounty hunter. So that one of those have got to be coming up.
I think it's next week, probably. I think we'll see. I thought we were going to see the bounty hunters these 2 episodes.
That's what I thought.
But then we got totally different episodes that I was planning, because I feel like every episode we leave off on a Bad Batch, it's like a little short movie. Like, okay, next movie. Okay, not even a cliffhanger, just next episode. Stuff like that. Like, they're not leaving us on cliffhangers.
No, they're not. They're definitely not.
And it's with Omega now. Like, I don't want to get into this because I want to save it for the breakdown. But Omega is now valuable more than we know, because they're
I've always thought that from day one. I thought she was force ability, something like that going on. I thought it was cool when they all put their guns up, like the kids coming with us and we'll get you a fair trial. And like everyone doubled down, and Batcher was like growling and like basically stood up in front of Omega, and Omega kind of ducked behind with her little crossbow. I was like, dude, that was awesome. That little standoff moment. I was like, look at that. That's like
that shot is beautiful too. The shot.
She's like the mascot for the Bad Batch now. Like,
I love it. I love Batcher. I'm so happy that they added him in. I really thought that we were just going to see maybe 2 episodes, 3 max. We get all 7 with Batcher, and I think he's just like them. He fights just like them.
Yeah, I think it's. At first, I wasn't sure where it was going with it, but like now I'm kind of like, that's kind of cool to have a little mascot like that. He's pretty tough looking. I like him.
And in reality, he takes the place. We don't want to say it, but he takes place of Tech. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
With everything, because he protects everybody. You know, he'll probably protect people on Pabu when they go there, because the Empire is going to Pabu.
Yeah.
We saw in the trailer. So, well, there's
Space
so much
Grease. Yeah, I don't know. That's why I wonder, like, what's gonna happen, like, because we never see Omega or hear anything. Like, I was really hoping that Tusken Raider that was teaching Boba Fett to fight would have been Omega. I was like, that would be cool if that was Omega, and she was taken in, and that's why she's helping train him, because she realizes who he is. Like, because she knows what the clones look like. Sand people might not, but she does.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like hoping that might have been something, but no.
No. Once again, disappointment, Patrick.
No, right?
But my final question to you, Patrick, before we head out, who is your favorite Star Wars characters? I can give you 3. We'll do 3. Top 3.
Top 3? I was gonna say hands down, it's Vader.
Oh wow.
Vader is. Come on. Find the more minute. All you have to do is show the silhouette in Rogue One before you even see him, and Krennic's waiting for him. The silhouette is kind of like when you see Indiana Jones silhouette with the hat and the whip in his hand. Like, you know who it is. Like Vader, as soon as you see, done. Absolutely just done. So I actually kind of realized that I did one of my very, very early images. I shot Vader with just a white backdrop and casting a shadow. And the whole reason I shot it is because the shadow alone just says Vader. Like, I didn't even need to actually take a picture of it. I could have just taken a picture of the shadow on the white, and you would have known who it was. But ever since I kind of really visually saw that it's without a doubt been Vader. But that's why he's so iconic.
He is. That
look. After Vader, Luke. I'd say Luke. And now it's kind of like I liked Obi-Wan, but I liked Luke because I always kind of thought he was cool. But I say like between Ezra and Ahsoka.
Oh, for your top 3? For 3?
Yeah. I kind of somewhere split in between those guys because I think there's more to their story. So
there is.
I think that's why I'm so excited to see whatever happens with them, because we really got a good story through Rebels. And that was some really great animation. I love the color. There's so much I love about the color palette, the style, the story, the music. Like they brought Thrawn back. They brought stuff from, that was called Legends, back in. So there's so many cool callbacks in it, and it was so well done. I love that. So like Ezra's definitely got to be in that. Like Ezra,
he's got to be in the movie probably with Ahsoka, the Mando and Grogu movie.
One can hope, right? One can hope.
Or Dave Filoni's movie, but I think so too. I think they'll be in it. But Patrick, thank you so much for coming on the Scevoli Tonight Show.
Thanks for having me, boss man.
We love you, Patrick Starr.
I love being on the show.
But before we go, where can everybody find you, Patrick, on the social medias?
All right, so on socials, it's Poptographyyt, and otherwise you just go straight to YouTube. It's just Poptography. But I'm doing like creative Funko Pop images, as well as my versions of unboxings, what's in the box, and every once in a while I do toy hunts. My on the hunt. So if you're into Star Wars Funko, check it out.
And I'll put all the links in the bios, guys, so you can go follow Patrick, support him in all his doings and his Funko-ness. Thank you, Patrick, for joining me on the Scevoli Tonight Show. I really appreciate it. Come back anytime and talk Star Wars with me. Make sure you guys subscribe down below to the YouTube channel, the Scevoli Tonight Show. Be kind to one another, guys, and may the Force be with you, my friends. Always. Bye!
In my life, when you find people who need your help, you help them, no matter what.